So the first race I was in second. First one was in the first race of the season. I was in the rain. My first rain ever. I really liked the rain since back in the days in karting. But the guy that find the way to go 99.9% under the limits is the fastest one. So it's more about respect the grip that you have, and then you play with this. That yes, exists life, not being Formula One, exists racing. Very good that we're gonna be paid. Have a lot of people looking, sponsors together. Okay, now I'm talking to you. I'm a normal person. We can be friends. And once I go to the car, I want to kill you, basically.
Hello, billionaires! Yes, we are here for our second edition of our Pet podcast, and today we have in the house Kiko Porto.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure having you here. So let's tell everybody, who is Kiko Porto?
So Kiko Porto is a guy from Brazil. I'm a race car driver, currently driving the Lamborghini Super Trofeo series with ANSA Motorsport. So I'm a driver that come from the open wheel side. I start at 8 years old in Brazil at 2011. I did all my karting career in Brazil. Basically, then I went to some races here in the United States and in Europe on karting. And then 2018, I made the jump for open wheels cars. So I started in the Formula 4 US. Here I finished second in the championship, and then I won the championship of the Formula 2000, 2021.
This all in America?
All in America, yes. Okay. I made a decision to go towards IndyCar in my early career on the Formula cars. So I did all the American championship to get to IndyCar. Last year.
So what are the steps? So let's go back. So from karting in Brazil.
So car in Brazil.
Then you came straight to America.
So basically, when I won the Brazilian championship, we made a decision to go international on karting.
National championship in Brazil?
In Brazil, yeah, the Brazilian championship.
Brazilian championship
yes.
for go-karts.
And then I did the Florida Winter Tour race here.
Which class was that?
Junior.
Junior, okay.
Junior, yes.
So how old were you at that time?
Probably 12,
So
12
at
to 13.
12
yeah.
years old, you made a decision to move to America.
No, with 12, we made a decision to start racing here and there, but I raced more in Europe than in America on karting. Because our plan back there was to get to Formula One as all new drivers, you know? But then we found out about a little bit of the cost and Europe side, and we found out a very good opportunity in America. And then we made a decision to go to IndyCar. That was 2018.
So that's the so-called Road to Indy?
The Road to Indy program.
So that's the program?
Yeah, the program.
So what's that program like? You go from karting, then you came to America to race karts on the beginning?
No, so basically I came to America to race cars, but I was not living here yet.
Okay.
You know? But then I went to Europe to race karts.
Okay.
And then I came back to America to race cars. Okay. That was in the beginning of 2018.
Which country you went to Europe?
So I went to Italy, France, Finland, and Belgium.
Nice. And
Yeah.
it's a European championship?
Yeah, so I did the WSK, which is a very big European championship there that have all the fast people that race the international world championship. And also I did it's called Academy Trophy, which is pretty interesting championship. So basically every national champion of each country, they got selected to do this Academy Trophy. So basically, when I won in 2016 the national championship in Brazil, I got selected in 2017 to represent Brazil.
Nice.
You know?
Nice.
So basically, like...
you get selected, but anyways, you still have to pay for it, like either with sponsors or no? Or they gave you the seats?
So basically, I just needed to pay for the hotels and travel expenses.
So they gave you the whole team?
Yeah, so basically there, it's pretty interesting. They give you the carts, one motor, and one tent, and you only bring your mechanic.
Okay.
You're only allowed to have one mechanic per karting.
That's for everybody?
For everybody.
Okay.
And they have the same carts, same engine, same everything.
Same chassis, everything?
Everything. The only thing that you can change is like tire pressure, a little bit of setup, but not even like change a piece of the setup, you know?
Like you can't change sprockets, for example?
No, it's one sprocket. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
You can change the setup with the thing that you have.
And how did you go on that?
So I finished third in the championship, but I won the last race, which was in Finland.
Nice.
So it's pretty special.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That was one whole year with that series?
Yes, basically, yeah.
Okay, then 2018, where did you go then?
So we made a decision to race the Formula 4 US.
Okay.
And it was pretty interesting because we were planning to start the championship on April, everything ready, and then we found out that they just had changed the regulations that I needed to complete 15 years old to race.
Whoa.
So basically, I lost the three first races of the season. On this, meanwhile, I went to Mexico. I
Wow.
did two races on the Formula 4 Necan.
So you could race Formula 4, but not in America.
Not in
the
America.
American
There was a
Championship,
series
okay.
specific for the F4 US. And I did two
By
races.
that time, the championship was
Done.
not- not a
But
chance
honestly, it was my first year on open wheels cars. So we're not going, honestly, to win
For
the
the
championship.
championship,
It's more to get experience, you know?
Okay.
And it was exactly what we did. You know, we went to Mexico with two races there. When I did 15, when I completed 15, I did the last three races.
How were the races in Mexico? The very first race on a Formula car. How
so
was that?
it
Slow
was-
or fast? How did you feel? Because it's something that Nelson Piquet said once. Like, okay, once you're coming from the go kart, you can sit on a Formula One, and that's the closest thing to it. Because any other formula, it's gonna feel slower than the kart. Is that true still nowadays?
So basically, yeah. In one side, yes. I can say that definitely F4 and like F3 will teach you a lot the techniques to
Formula.
apply for F1, but the speed of the
Reaction
reactions and the speed of the way that you need to tank to the other corner
Yeah.
is very similar from karting to F1. You know, because when you
super
go
fast.
to, for example, F4, you're still racing a track that's capable to receive a F1 car, but you're slower.
Yes.
In the karting, is basically made for the size of the speed of the kart. So you're always thinking, like, you just finish one corner, you have the other one ahead. So you need to think very fast, and always your mind needs to be always one corner ahead, you know. And basically in Formula 1 is the same scenario. So in that side of the reaction, the responsibility of how fast you need to think,
Yeah.
this is very similar for sure.
Nice.
You know?
So it's crazy, no? That the base of it is very similar to the
Yeah,
very top of it.
Yeah.
But you have so many classes in between.
exactly.
So then, 2018, you did these two races in Mexico.
Yeah.
How was like? How did you finish them?
So the first race I was in second, and then I had a problem on the
Nice.
brakes,
Oh,
and then I didn't finish the race. And the second race I finished second.
wow. Problem on the brakes.
The problem on the brakes.
So they just stopped working, or
So basically, one of the brake cables didn't work.
okay.
So it was not something that I lost completely the brakes, but just one brake was not working. So like, you know, I went straight on the grass, and then I came back to the box, you know,
Okay.
to the pits. So it was sketchy for the first time, but
Imagine.
yeah, I survived.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so then you did these two races. Then you could race here. You were 15 already. How was racing in America? Different? The same? Racing is racing, or like you felt more pressure? How was that side?
So definitely, for my first year, I never put pressure on myself. You know,
Yeah.
I knew all the challenge that I won in karting, and I know I was going to see much more challenge. You know, so I just did my best for the moment. Definitely, the main change was the number of cars between Mexico and here. I remember in Mexico, I had probably like 18 cars on the grid, and here in the US, we had like 30 something.
Oh wow!
You know,
That's
so,
amazing.
yeah.
That must be even nicer. No?
Yeah,
You wanna
yeah,
race.
it was nicer.
Right.
But in certain way, for the first race in the US was a little bit scary for the first moment, you know?
Why? Because you
Because of
didn't
the-
know the whole environment, the other
So
drivers.
basically,
what is that?
the amount of cars, it's kind of creates a little bit more tense on the driver, because you know that if you do one little mistakes, it's not one car that's gonna pass you, it's probably five. You
and
know?
the risk of crashing, does that scare you, or
I mean, the first times in a car, yes, but honestly, I knew since the beginning that even the car didn't had risk for crashing, you know. So
yeah, it's bigger risk not to get hurt. It's
yeah,
a bigger risk.
yes,
Yeah. To hurt
Definitely-
the pocket, no. But,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But definitely, I mean, when you go to open wheels, and you go the first time to cars,
Yeah.
you have this extra respect for the speed that you're going.
Uh-huh.
Even though you know you're more protected, you have the seat belts, you have the hands device, all the cockpit is carbon fiber.
Yeah.
You know you're safe, but it kind of creates more respect because of the speed that you're going. You know,
Yes.
so in some way you start to have more responsibility because you know you are in something faster, higher, that the crashes can be sketchier.
Okay.
So it's also kind of a way that you create a little bit of respect between the drivers, you know.
So
So
yeah,
this is
it's
something
also,
good.
and then, for example, the bills. If you crash by your mistake, let's say you're there, your first race, you go and you crash on somebody else. Who pays for it? It's something that people probably are curious for. Like, you're just beginning. You're like on your first year. You don't have, a huge sponsor yet, I imagine, and you have that. You're scared with that. Like, okay, if I crash, who's gonna pay for it? How does it work?
So in the beginning, it's basically who is funding you in the moment. In my case, was my father, you know,
Okay.
because it's just
But you
when
pay for your car, or you pay if you crash
no,
by your
it's
mistake?
only it's your car.
It's
No
you
matter if
pay
it's your
yours.
mistake, other one's mistake, you pay
Oh,
your own
wow.
shit. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
this is
crazy.
that's crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
It's
very
sometimes
sketchy.
frustrating. You
Well,
know?
yes, that's why you guys have to have a lot of respect between
Yes,
each other.
yes.
This is not a video game.
No, yeah. You
Yeah.
don't press restart and
Yes,
then
yes,
go again.
yes. Wow. And that's not only by getting hurt, because like you said, it's very protected. You have
Yeah.
carbon fiber cell. Halo, there's a Halo already, right?
So
this
on
cars.
that time, I didn't have. So right
Okay.
now, all the cars
Yeah,
have. Yeah,
F4
since the
has Halo
beginning,
now.
they installed the Halos.
Okay, yeah. I'll ask about the Halo in a minute. So let's just finish that 2018, your first season. Then you had how many races after that in America, and how did it end? Your first year on open wheel
Yeah.
on the road to Indy.
Yeah.
How
So
was it?
basically, on that for this year, we did 3 races.
Uh,
We ended up in Austin, Texas, with the Formula One's weekend.
nice.
So it was pretty good, you know, like
Wow.
first time you go to the track and see like all the sponsorships there,
Wow.
everything well painted, you know,
The crowd,
all the
whole-
environment,
yes,
the crowd,
yes. Wow.
it's awesome.
Must be amazing.
And was my best result of this season was a P9
Nice.
over there, for like 30 something cars was very good,
That
you
was
know.
probably a full grid, especially on the Formula
Yeah.
One race.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And then because the first year was made to experience wise, we made a decision to do the second season, which is pretty normal on cars. You normally always do the first season to know the car, know the environment, know how it works, and then you go the second year to really win. You know,
Okay.
and exactly what we did. And that year we
Same class, F4.
same class F4, same team. On that case, it was D-Force back then.
Okay, same sponsor, your father.
Yeah.
Which was the company?
Basically was back in the day was Petromega, was my
Nice.
father
He
company.
still has it. Let's do some.
Yeah.
merchandising.
Basically, if you
Yes.
go to Brazil and you go to the northeast part of Brazil, some gas stations there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So he has gas stations,
Yeah.
like a chain of gas stations.
Yeah, chains of gas station there.
Petromega.
Petromega, yes.
Nice. You go put your gas there,
Yeah.
guys.
In Recife area,
Nice.
Pernambuco is you're gonna find a bunch of them. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. That's good that he was able to sponsor you here.
Yes.
And you had the car with his brand.
Yeah, back the
Nice,
days.
nice. Giovanni,
Yeah.
please add the car, add the picture of the car
Yeah.
with the right sponsor, so they can see. So 2 years with the same car, same livery.
Yes.
Nice. How was the second year? then?
Second year we finished second, very close
On
to
the
first.
championship.
Yes, it was
Nice.
very close.
Any wins?
Yeah, we had. I think we had 2 wins that season.
Nice.
2 wins, I think so.
So how was the first win? Like, you still remember that moment? You
Oh, yeah,
still
for sure.
carry it?
No, we had three wins that season.
Okay.
I just remember one more. So the first one was in the first race of the season.
Wow.
I was in the rain.
Nice.
My first rain ever.
Okay.
I really like the rain since back in the days in karting.
Wow.
So it was
So
pretty
you used to
special.
practice in the rain in Brazil a lot? Like,
On
just like
karting,
Senna?
yes.
Yeah?
On karting, yes.
Just
Yes.
because of Senna's teachings, or just because you used
So
to like it?
no,
Like,
it's just basically, it's not that Senna just born good at rain, right? Like
Yeah,
obviously
he
we had a
practiced
lot
a
of
lot,
talent, but we
right?
practice a lot.
Yeah.
Have in the paddock of karting Brazil, have a lot of
Uh-huh.
stories that all the time that he was in school and then started raining
he would
on
go
the
to
racetrack,
on
he
slick-
would go to the track.
on slicks.
On slick
Yes,
tires.
yes. That's
On
why I
the
asked you this
Interlagos.
question. Yes, because
Yes.
I've practiced a million times karting. I like that, and it's everybody knows the stories that Senna used to go practice on slicks in the rain, and he was literally unbeatable
Yeah.
in the rain.
And
That's-
basically, Interlagos
Yeah.
is like this since now, you know? So if you go there in a race weekend, you're gonna see like sometime of the weekend is gonna fall the world of water
gonna
there,
rain, yes,
and
yes.
basically put in a situation that you need to learn.
Yeah,
And this is why I think prepare a lot of good drivers to see the average of
Yeah,
Brazilians racing
Barrichello
the
was very
rain.
good at rain. Massa, I don't remember, but I think so. I
He
would
was
say.
good. He was
Yeah, I
good
would
as well.
say so. Yeah, nice.
So it puts you in a situation that it's like the British. The British are normally very good in the rain
Yes,
as well
they
because
only drive in the rain.
you know what I'm saying.
That's all that happens
So
there.
it's
Yeah.
not like they're born with a talent in the rain. It's
Yeah.
just because they are put in the situation
It's
a lot more than
very
different
different
countries.
way of driving.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
I've raced a few times in the rain and got completely lost. Completely
Yeah.
lost. I remember my first time racing in the rain. I was spinning like I'm like, wow, I don't know how to do this, and I consider myself a very good driver, but in the rain it was like a mess, a complete
So
mess.
what
Yes.
if I try to make a resume of driving in the rain, I would say that when you drive in the dry, you're always in this fine line in that you pass a little bit the limit and then you go under. You pass a
Yeah.
little bit the limit. This is why you see like the little correction because you pass the limit and then you come back.
Yeah.
On the rain, it's like the opposite. It's you always need to be under
Under the limit,
all the
right.
time.
Ah.
But the guy that find the way to go 99.9% under the limits is the fastest one.
Yeah.
Because normally when it goes to the rain, you see an onboard of a guy like super aggressive in the rain,
He's slow.
quick hands. He's never gonna be slow.
Yeah.
And then the guy's driving like comfortable and know what he's doing it and then apply the techniques. He's gonna be fast.
Nice.
So it's more about respect the grip that you have, and then you play with this.
Cool. So you practice a lot.
Yeah.
You're like, for sure, you're a great rain driver.
Yeah.
'Cause you won your first race. That was your first experience with a Formula in a wet track or no?
Yeah, on the wet
Very
ever.
first time
Very
you
first.
drove on
Yeah.
a wet track, you won
Ever.
the race.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Pretty
very
cool.
cool. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. So then, 2018, second on the championship. Where is the road to Indy?
2017. 2019.
So 18, 18 was your first year.
Yeah.
Then that year you didn't win any race.
No.
Just learned.
No, yeah.
Second year you win the first race.
I win the first race.
Nice. So then second on that championship on
Yes.
19 with 3 wins. Then where the road to Indy led you there after 2020?
So basically, we treated this as a Road to Indy program because it's like the normal pathway.
Okay.
But the really Road to Indy series started next year in 2020.
That didn't exist before, the so-called road to Indy. Oh yes.
No,
Okay.
exists before,
Okay.
yeah. But the F4 was part of a different program.
Okay.
But basically, everyone that wants to go to IndyCar needed to pass for the F4 first.
Formula One the same, right?
You know,
always
yeah.
go to Formula
It's like
4.
it's like the Formula Renault.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not from the F1 program,
But
but
can
everyone
work.
passes.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same with F4. And then we went. The first step to the Road to Indy program is the USF 2000,
Nice.
which was 2020 that started.
That is a 2-liter engine.
two
why is
2
it
liters
from the- yeah.
engines.
Turbo, no turbo.
No turbo.
No turbo,
4
okay.
cylinders.
Lots of power, almost the same.
No,
as
it was a
F4.
little bit faster than F4. I think probably like 30 horsepower more.
So,
Not a
much.
lot, but the car was much faster on the corners.
More downforce.
More downforce.
Tires
yes.
probably bigger.
Yeah, a little bit bigger. So it was around 3 seconds to 4 seconds faster than F4
Okay.
car.
So who were the sponsors at that time?
So back there we started working with Banco Dacoval. It's a
Nice.
bank in Brazil,
Uh-huh.
which started all this relationship back there, and we still with them since today.
Oh yes, yeah. I see. So, and how was on that side? Because I know drivers, it's not only about driving. You need to be a businessman.
Yeah.
You need to go to meetings. You need to have a lot of other side. You need to be a media guy and everything. How did you get the sponsorship? Through relationship, through racing? They come after you. You went after them. How did that work?
So
on your case?
basically, I had some kind of knowledge with people that work there, but nothing close to the guys that made the decision on this. And then back in the days, I created like a ebook online,
Uh-huh.
just simple with my titles, my story, my goals,
Nice.
my purpose of racing. And then I remember that I sent this for a very good friend from the bank now, which is called Mauricio, that I sent to him like, man, see if you can go to the big guys and
Uh-huh.
expose this, show this, and at least get me the opportunity to present myself.
Uh-huh.
You know, and he made it work. He showed
Wow.
for one of the owners, and then they invited me to go there. It was in São Paulo.
Nice.
Uh,
It's an investment bank?
as investment, it's a normal bank, but it's very well known as investment bank as well. They're pretty
Nice.
strong on this side of the business, and a lot of people work with them on this side.
What's the name of the bank again?
Daicoval.
Daicoval. You know what it stands for? Or?
So Daicoval is kind of the part of it is the last name of the owners,
Nice.
which is Dayan. I don't know what Koval comes from, but they received me very well. I
Nice.
expressed myself, and then we started working together on that year. Was
Wow,
pretty
the
cool.
same year.
Yeah, the same year,
With
2020.
Mauricio.
Yeah.
Good guy. Nice. So then after that, the Formula 2000, how did that go?
So basically, it was COVID, right?
Yes.
2020. So that was a mess of a year. So
Yeah.
I was in.
Especially for events. Big
Yeah.
Events with,
So basically, I was at St. Pete here in Florida, late February, for the first race of the season.
does it follow the Indy calendar?
Yes.
So
Not
it's-
all the races, but
okay.
yeah, the first race
St.
was
Pete
the
was
IndyCar.
together with Indy.
Yeah, together with IndyCar. And then we were there for the first race of the weekend. And then I remember I was sitting on the car. We had a little bit of news about COVID.
Uh-huh.
But like, very in the beginning that, it's something coming from China.
Might be a
and we don't know
lockdown
more.
coming.
And
blah,
like,
blah.
what is lockdown? We don't know yet. And then we were there, no one using mask, anything
Yeah.
yet. And I remember I was sitting for a practice, and then they announced a red flag in the practice before started, basically saying that the city was blocking every single event of the city to happen.
Wow.
The city of St. Petersburg. And it was like
Effective immediately.
immediately.
Hey.
And then
no
we
more
were
practicing, no more nothing.
yeah, and then we were lost. Like,
Wow.
why like this? And then like COVID, and then everything started to grow up very fast, one day to another. And then so basically we had no practice, and we were going to go to quali straight
Wow.
on the next day.
So they didn't cancel the event.
They didn't cancel the event yet,
Okay.
but then they changed all the schedule, and no people to see, no
Okay. Yeah,
public
no
at all.
public.
And I
No-
remember
Not that you can see much when you go to St. Pete.
Yeah, you know, like,
oh my
yeah.
God. I traveled all the way there to see a race and I couldn't see.
Yeah.
I was watching on TV.
So but basically, I remember showing up the next day in the track, and we're like bunch of police, a bunch of people looking at your hard card because like just the people with a hard card would be allowed to go to the track and happen
Oh,
the
wow.
event. And then second part, we went to the track, we did qualify, and then like as soon as I jump out of the car, they announced the weekend was gone, cancel.
So only qualify and
Nothing.
that's
Yeah,
what you
nothing
did.
happened with the qualifying. Like the result didn't matter a lot. And then I not even remember what place I finished on the qualifying, to be honest,
Wow.
because after that was already canceled, and they canceled the whole event. And then because of this was locking up everything.
Yeah.
I remember that I tried to get the flight as fast as possible to Brazil because we know something bigger was coming.
But you were living there. You were living in
In
Brazil at that time.
in Recife.
Ah,
Yes.
Okay.
And we went back to Brazil, and then lockdown, and then all the things that everybody knows. And then after a little bit of the lockdown, we were planning to. They planned to get back on the championship and started at late August of this
Okay.
year. And basically, no one would travel.
So this was like March still, right?
That was like March, yeah.
when
End
they
of
started the
February to
lockdown.
March.
Yeah.
And then just they changed completely the schedule. It was supposed to be 9 races. It was just 6. And then but we were supposed to have the first race on August, right?
Yeah.
But basically, no one was allowed to travel in the airport to come here to the U.S. without being a
vaccine.
citizen or a green card.
Oh,
You know?
it's not the vaccine, not even the vaccine.
Not
problem
even the
at that
vaccine.
time.
And I remember that we had a lawyer that was working with all the race car drivers that lived in different countries and needed to come to the US. And we did all the process to get the authorization with IndyCar that's sent to the Custom and Border Control here in the U.S.
So at that time, quick question. Sorry to interrupt. At that time, you were racing as a tourist here, like you would come as a tourist and race, or you had to have a specific.
We
Like,
had an
race
athlete
car?
visa,
Athlete visa.
athlete
Okay,
visa,
Yeah.
but with the lockdown, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know?
a green card. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. It's an athlete visa.
Yeah,
It's not a
exactly.
green card or citizenship.
Yeah.
It's a visa.
But basically, we need this extra authorization as well. We did all the process. We got approved with IndyCar. IndyCar really helped all the young drivers to do
Yeah.
this process for everybody with like a letter saying that they needed to race, explain everything. We got authorized.
Oh, good.
But then I went to Recife, São Paulo. São Paulo, the race was supposed to be in Wisconsin Road America,
Okay.
right? And then I did Recife, São Paulo. When I got to São Paulo,
Uh,
the airplane company didn't allow me to go.
why?
Basically, the authorization that I had was never like a paper. It's something that every airline, they have the connection with the border control
Yes.
of the country before even the flight departure.
Yeah.
So if they ask the border control and put my name there, my father wants, it would be correct and authorized to travel.
But they didn't
But
ask.
they basically didn't, I think, trust what we were saying, and they didn't even
Wow.
try it to call them.
Wow.
So basically, first race of the season, out.
So you're not going.
And then we're like, damn, we already lost this championship. Like,
Wow.
you know, it's
And you still have to pay for all the investment.
all
of
the investments. It
racing,
was paid,
everything,
you know.
and,
The team did all the preparation. They hired all the mechanics. Like, it's not something that we can just do not pay. You know
yes,
what I'm saying?
no, it's, the seat was for you.
It was mine.
That
The car was
yeah,
there.
for The team.
The
yeah.
car was there.
And
Stop
the car
was there.
was there. Everybody was there.
You know.
Wow.
And then there was a very difficult moment for me as a driver. You know. But then for the second race weekend, we flew with a different airline and we got in the country.
So the problem was with the airline. It's
Yeah,
not
because
even,
if the airline really called the border control here, they would see that our visa
that you
was
had the
authorized,
authorization, yeah,
you know, but they didn't trust what we were saying, basically. And then second race of the season, we started there, kind of tough because we were not here to test, so we were just
And
going.
how many cars on that grid?
Probably 23, I would say,
Okay.
around this.
It's a regular grid.
regular
nothing,
grid.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy, but you know, but the level
Good
of the
one.
good people compared to F4 was much higher.
Oh,
you know,
good.
because the experience of every time
So
you
that's
go
kind
ahead,
of the second formula of everybody.
yes.
Okay.
But it's not people that are just knowing the cars. They already know how to drive a race car.
A race
you know?
car, they already advanced drivers. They're going for a career.
Yeah,
in a
you know,
way.
basically,
Serious
if
people.
if you can see what normally happens in the all open, especially the open wheel scenario, in the first step of the series, you're gonna have like a lot of drivers.
Yeah.
And then you go reducing this a lot. But in the point that once you get to Indy Lights, for example, you have like 20 cars, but everybody's
It's
know
really
what
good.
they're doing.
Everybody can win the race.
Everybody
in a
can
way.
win the race.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that you start having less amount of people,
Yeah.
but the talent start growing in experience as well.
Yeah.
So-
It's, the investment that it's worth. I mean,
Yeah,
keep doing.
you know.
Sponsors, parents, whoever is paying,
Yeah.
they're gonna say, okay, he can do it or he
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause, to go to Indy Lights, all right. If you never won a race, if you,
Before,
I mean, you're
like-
not going, right? They're not.
Some
yeah,
people are still going, you know, in the country
Yeah.
that we live now. Have a lot of people with money that just want to have fun.
Yeah.
They go there, you know, but it's not. It's difficult because this is something that started before in Europe.
Yeah.
That people with money. So basically, people try to say Stroll
Yeah,
because of the money that he had. But okay, he had the money.
but it still has to be very
I don't
good to be
think
there.
he would be there without the money. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Don't think he would be there. But it's not a guy that he completely don't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
He won championships, important championship to be there. I'm not saying 100% that some team would invite him to race or not, but
no, yeah, most likely not. But that's the reality of
But it's not-
Formula One.
exactly
Always been.
But it's not that
yeah.
he's a guy that he don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Nobody is gonna ever race Formula One for free.
Exactly.
I
You know?
mean, to become a Fernando Alonso is,
Yeah.
it takes a lot, and I bet Alonso paid a lot to
Exactly.
race as well
Everybody,
until he got paid
at
for it.
least in a point that your talent, you
Yeah.
find support
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get there. Like every situation is different.
Yeah.
Like Hamilton, thank God he got started with the relationship with McLaren after karting already.
Yeah.
So
During karting, no, they were
during
actually
karting,
like
yeah.
already
So basically, he
doing a
won.
program with him, no?
I don't know if it was the World Championship or the European Championship that he won.
Yeah.
And after this, he went to Ross Brown, talked to Ross Brown, and then start with a conversation. And then since there, Ross Brown was with him.
Nice.
But I don't know that it was McLaren that put the money to go on another steps, or McLaren found people to put the money.
So Hamilton's family is not wealthy.
No, was not
Oh,
wealthy
that's
at all.
an interesting
you
story.
know, but had a lot of talent since karting.
Yes,
And
yes.
then this is why he found the connection
Yeah,
with McLaren.
but talent alone is not enough. We
Yeah.
know there's many race
Yeah.
drivers out there that
Yeah.
have plenty of talent.
Exactly.
I've seen myself, in Brazil. I was following the karting world since I was like 10 until I don't know until now. But I've seen many great talents that didn't go anywhere. They had to stop right after
Yeah.
karting because there
Yeah.
was no funding, even though they were winning everything.
Yeah.
Maybe the wrong place because Hamilton was in England. There you have Ross Brown that you can just go and find him.
Yeah.
In Brazil, Ross Brown is too far,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's difficult to get a Formula One team to. do
This
that.
is something that start in Europe, as we can say that people start with a lot of money start buying the seats, no matter how much money it is, and like even buying teams, like in the case of Stroll.
Yeah.
And this is something that we didn't have in the United States. So this is why we can see, I would say, on the last, it started way before, but I think in the last 8 to 6 years, we can see this big migration of European drivers to here. Before, you would see a lot of European drivers coming to race in United States, but just would be like seat opportunity.
Yeah.
Now we started seeing on the small series because of the money, because in a Indy Lights car compared to a Formula 2 car, it can be even half of the money to
Yes,
race.
yeah. But the competition, the level is high still.
It's very high because
that's what they want. They're learning.
Exactly, because of now the amount of good people that came from Europe with all the experience, but just unfortunately didn't have the money to still like F2 or F3. They came here, but they're still the same driver. They're still the same fast, So basically, this is why we made a decision to come to the US since there, because it was something that still a lot of money, but it's still something that maybe we can reach, maybe we can fight.
Because I don't see, even here, I mean, following motorsports here, the American drivers, they just don't make it in a way of, being Formula One champions, being, World Rally Championship champions. They don't make it like that. I don't understand. Now it's funny you're saying that all the great drivers are coming to America to race, but the competition seems to me that is not here from the Americans. So the competition is coming from all over the world.
I feel that you're not having a lot of Americans going to Europe is because of a reason, because they basically don't need to go out of their country.
They don't need to go. Here is
Like,
amazing. Yes.
IndyCar have a huge event, beautiful, a lot of competition, a lot of big fans.
Yeah.
If you don't like open wheels car, you go to NASCAR.
Yeah.
You have crazy amount of people, crazy amount of sponsor, and like
and no Europeans or Brazilians or French make any success in NASCAR or Indy, no? Or there is
no. Basically, in Brazil we had a lot of IndyCar champions.
Indy, yes,
Brazilians.
but not NASCAR. No,
NASCAR,
Indy,
we don't have a lot of this.
Indy, we had
tradition.
Castro Neves, we had Fittipaldi, as well,
We have
and,
Tony Kanaan.
Tony,
We have Gilles de Ferran that passed
Gilles
away
Ferran,
some months ago.
yes.
We have Felipe Giafoni.
Giafoni,
A lot of
One
good, we had a
races,
lot of good drivers.
Yes,
you know,
They were
Vitor
kind of
Meira,
stars. Vitor Meira, Popo
Cristiano
Moreno
Lamata,
as well, no?
Popo Moreno.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good drivers.
Yes,
You know,
Yes.
but that is something right. I don't feel that NASCAR used to be a goal for the Brazilians, but
Yeah.
now it's a lot.
There's lots of Brazilians
Yes.
now in NASCAR.
We have a series called NASCAR Brazil.
In Brazil,
in
yeah,
Brazil,
yeah. No, that I've seen. Yeah.
that already not even just like open the eyes of the race drivers
To
in
come
the way
here.
that exists something more than just like Formula One, because
Yeah.
Brazil normally have this mentality, you know, like
It's
you talk
either
about
Formula
racing,
One or
Formula One,
nothing,
like
yeah.
they don't know
Everybody
anything
wants to
else,
be Senna.
you
Yeah.
know. So I think NASCAR Brazil had a very important role of first open the eyes of the drivers that yes exists life not being Formula One, exists racing,
Yeah.
very good, that we're gonna be paid, have a lot of people looking, sponsors together, but start also a culture to show the fans that exist racing out of
Outside of
Formula
Formula
One,
One,
you
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
and
Because Formula One now in America,
Yeah.
there's eyes for it.
Yeah.
But honestly, here
Yeah.
there was basically zero Formula One. They
Yes.
were relying on Indy, NASCAR, and all the ovals and the dirt
Yes.
races and the trophy trucks,
Exactly.
everything. But
Exactly.
no Formula One. Now there is a lot of Formula One. There was an American race driver, no, on Formula One here.
Logan
last
Sargent?
year. Yes, yes.
Yeah, he's out now.
He's out, no?
Yeah.
yeah. So,
But I
don't
think
know.
gonna go to IndyCar.
So that's your.
think so.
So let's go to the road to Indy. Let's go back there. So after Formula 2000, pandemic year, tragedy everywhere. How did that end? That year end?
So basically, we
And
had
where did you go?
6 years, six
Six
races,
races?
on this year. The first, I was not allowed to come to the country. I raced the second. I raced the third. The fourth, I got a test positive for COVID, so I lost one more.
And you were here.
No,
You
Brazil.
couldn't even come.
Not even come. And then I did the second to last race, and my confidence was very bad, right?
Yeah.
Because I lost two. I was not even practicing
Wow.
because my visa was just allowed
And
to
in the
come for the race
meantime,
weekends.
no go kart racing, nothing. You were just
Not even.
waiting
and
for
and it's not something that you really on that moment I really had that knowledge of go karts. I needed time on the car,
Yeah.
you know. And my visa was just allowed to travel for the race weekends. Period.
yeah, and you had to go back.
So no practice,
Wow.
you know. So it was very tough. And I remember.
But for that formula, you can practice.
You can
'Cause many
practice.
formulas you can't
yeah,
actually practice,
I mean,
right?
when you get to IndyCar, no.
Yeah.
When you get to Indy Lights in IndyCar, no. It's
Yeah.
not.
There is some scheduled practices
Yeah.
that you can
But
do.
before
but
this,
Formula
you can-
2000, if you have a car, you can
Yeah, you
practice
can-
as much as you can.
2,000 laps a day and it's with
Nice.
you, you know.
So you were competing against people that were doing that.
Exactly.
That I know Americans do when they have
Yeah.
the time and the money.
Yeah.
They will just spend and invest. No, it's not even spending.
Yeah.
No, it's investing on,
Yeah.
on that.
And basically my confidence was very bad because I was not even having practice to
Yeah.
find myself.
Yeah.
And then the last race of the year was in St. Pete, so we came back to
Okay.
the race weekend, and then I won my first race on the
Nice.
last of the year.
Wow.
You know,
Good job.
so it was very good because I went to the vacation part
Uh-huh.
of the year, knowing I was capable of doing this. You know.
Yes. So the last
So my
race,
confidence was
you won, and the next
skyrocketing.
next year you did Formula 2000 again.
Yes, and I
Full
won that
season then.
championship.
Oh, congratulations!
Exactly, yeah.
Nice, nice.
That
How
was a-
many races you had to win to?
I won 4 races,
Out of?
17,
Oh, it's a lot of races.
a lot of races.
Competition is very tough. Right?
Yeah, but I got like, I think, 12 podiums.
Wow.
So that's what was
Consistency
Yeah,
is
that's
key.
consistency was my best part of this year. You know,
Nice.
and I think my worst result was a P7.
That's very
Yeah,
consistent.
15 top fives.
Nice. Yeah.
So
So,
that-
yeah, to win a championship with only
Yes.
4 wins, you know, it means a lot. It means that the competition is very tough.
Exactly.
Because
We have
only,
example-
If you say only 4 wins, but to win the championship,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like we have an example this year of a driver that won. He won the Indy Pro 2000 season. Lucky, he won I think like 4 races or
Okay.
3, and the second place won 8.
and
He didn't win.
no
you know, so
championship.
it's the
Wow.
consistency that makes the difference for sure.
Yeah. So you were lucky. The car was good. All the races.
The car was
made it
good.
to the end. Worst result, 7th place.
Never crashed.
Nice.
It was the first title for the
So until then, that's your 3rd, 4th year already on a Formula car, no?
Yeah,
No crashes at all until that time.
some but nothing something
Small
crazy. I
one.
never had anything crazy.
Nice.
It was much more like something that damage a suspension, something like this, but nothing really
Just,
crazy. Thanks God. Yeah,
touch.
material damage, honestly.
Nothing crazy. Nothing
No.
breaking the whole car,
No,
transmission,
no, no.
engine.
Thanks not. Thanks
Good,
not.
good,
Thankfully
good.
not.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was my first. It was the first championship of my team, D-Force.
Oh wow.
So it was very
Nice.
special. you
So
know?
then, how does it go with sponsorship? So you won the championship. Do you have sponsors coming at you and things like that, or everything's still the same hustle?
same.
Still, you have to go and show, hey, I was the champion.
Daikova was there with me,
Uh huh.
but it was the only sport.
Wow.
Honestly, Daikova was the only guys
Since then,
since yesterday that trusted us
nice.
full time.
And
But we
today
had-
you have other sponsors, or you still with them?
So basically now we have a company that's working not necessarily on the race car now, but in my preparation of this, which is Extreme Sim Racing with SimLab.
Nice.
On the simulator, we know that since COVID, the simulator came to get a very important role of driver's life.
Yeah, that's a good question actually
Yeah.
for me to ask you. I love sim racing. I have equipment from Extreme Sim Racing as well. It's the very best. You can tell
Yeah.
better. How much it adds to your career? How much is like you can rely on that, like with setups, with preparing your mindset and preparing yourself for the real situation? How close is that to real? Like, how much is that important for
So
you?
that's a very good question that a lot of people have different opinions. For me, if I put a guy that don't have experience on racing on a sim and then put him in a car, he's gonna say, okay, this is exactly the same.
Okay.
Okay, on feeling, techniques, everything. For us, yes, the techniques are very similar. The way that we need to apply the feeling, not all the times 100% the same, but to be fast. And for me, was the important part is like to be fast, you need to apply the same techniques.
Okay. Yeah.
So no matter what's the feeling that you're having, if you practice your techniques, if it's the same that you go in the real life,
breaking points, breaking with this.
yeah, exactly.
with
Like
a
doesn't
straight
matter
line.
necessarily if it's gonna be the same feeling if you.
But
if
the
the
input
techniques,
is
if the input is
yeah,
the same.
the input is the same.
So this is for me is the best part.
So
you know?
the input is very loyal. Of course, the feeling
very
is not
loyal.
because you don't
Yes.
have the G-force,
Exactly. So this is the
Yeah.
important part. You don't have the G-force. You don't have
especially
the
on
fear.
the braking. Because when you brake a race
Exactly.
car,
You don't have the same
that's
adrenaline.
crazy,
So
yeah.
this kind of things adds to your muscle. You get tense.
Yeah,
You feel
yeah,
more the car. You feel the vibration. We still have some vibration
The heat,
today. You know,
yes,
the
yeah,
heat
yeah.
does come for an important role. The wind,
Yeah.
shaking your hand in an open wheel car, for
Oh
example.
yeah, open wheel. Yeah.
So this kind of things start adding some very little sense of detail and feeling of the car.
Yeah.
You know.
So in the end of the day, from what you're saying, it's easier on a real car than on a simulator.
So that's the thing. Maybe to extract everything together, I probably need more laps in a sim.
Yes.
Right.
Because you have more feedback on a real car. You
I have more feedback than a real
Yeah.
car. However, on the real car, you
the
normally
fear factor.
have a fear factor.
Yeah.
Not just this, you have more things to take into consideration. I'll give you an example. On a sim race, you're going to the corner. You're probably gonna need to pay attention on brake point, pressure, and the techniques of releasing,
Yeah.
steering points, throttle techniques, and the setup of the car, correct? So grab everything that I said, you're gonna apply for the real car, but now
There's track
add
temperature.
track temperature, tire degradation, aero wash,
Yes.
wind,
Yeah.
tire pressure. The curb is dirty on that lap because
Yes.
one lap before he bought some rocks there. So
Yeah. You
this
just
kind of
touch the
things-
grass and
yes.
the-
So these other things brings something that force you to be adapting more. This is what I think. I think in the sim is much more mathematic thing.
yeah.
Exact thing.
Consistent.
Consistent. You
It gives you
break,
the
you
what
break-
to do if the car
Yeah.
loses the rear. Okay, you know which reaction you're gonna have to do in a real situation.
yes.
Things like that. It's gonna teach you.
It's difficult to say
for
like this,
free.
but in like a big example, I would say that if you read the same manual to apply in the sim is gonna be easier than applying the real life.
because it's more consistent.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
it's more repeatable.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
it happens
Every
more
lap the
usual.
track is exactly the same.
Yes.
Of course, nowadays they have some simulation on
Yeah, change
that,
it
but
here there,
still, yeah,
but you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's more
Like track temperature you can get
yes.
on iRacing.
Yes.
Depend on the time of the day you go, your lap time is gonna change a second
Yeah.
or more.
But this
You
is
just
when
change
it
the
come a
daytime.
very important part of the sim that to you be consistent on the sim without the feeling, the vibration, the wind,
It's
all this kind of
difficult
thing
as
is
well.
difficult.
Yeah.
So it's basically just your mental part. So I
Okay.
think this is, if you ask me, Kiko, what's the most important thing of the sim for me? The mental part.
Because you prepared yourself.
Because you don't have the same feeling.
Start, for example.
Exactly.
You have a start, and
Yeah.
there's 20 other people that are racing online that
Yeah.
were waiting for 40 minutes,
Yeah.
qualifying, etc.
Yeah.
So you have to be on that real racing mentality
Yes.
of not
So
crashing,
it's
of
difficult
not
to you
ruining
shift.
somebody.
You're
Yeah.
at home wearing pajamas.
It's not a video game
You know,
anymore, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's difficult to you really get in the mood because your body do not understand that this is something.
Dangerous, because it's not dangerous.
It's not
Yeah.
even a danger. It's something serious.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you're wearing pajamas after you wake up,
Yeah.
and you sit there and you're like start doing a lot of mistakes. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then restart, come back. Okay, what is my techniques? You need to imagine you getting tense, you getting the adrenaline in your body when you put the helmet,
Okay.
and then you even
Get into that
change
zone.
the way that
Yeah.
your eyes look for the screen.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
but
And you enjoy? Do you enjoy?
I love it.
You love
I love it.
sim racing?
I love it.
Nice.
Like I think when the sim races start to exist back in the days, when the equipment was not very fine tuning, was even more
like
tough.
PlayStation.
Yeah,
and
you
things
know,
like that.
and like when the we didn't have the sim magic stuff,
Yeah.
the extreme cockpits. That was
Yeah.
just something that you put in a desktop. And
Yeah.
very little steering
The
wheel.
Logitech.
Exactly. So back
Yeah.
there, you didn't have any kind of feeling, you know.
But still was the same input.
Yeah.
In a way, yes. You
You
have to
know?
accelerate on that same point. You have to
Exactly.
control, but the
Exactly.
throttle is not that sensitive, so
Yeah.
you don't have as much control, but you still have to do
I
the,
think
the
in
right
terms
input.
of equipments, we have something that I would say is basically almost the same of real life on feeling wise
Yes.
on the equipments. But in the end of the day, no matter how precise you go, no matter how well developed is the game, it's still the game.
Yeah.
So like they can get to the 90.9999%
But
perfection,
still, it's not gonna be.
but you don't have the extra one, which
no,
is pretty
the noise
tough.
and the
Is-
whole feeling about
know?
being inside the car
Yes.
is completely different.
Exactly.
But still, the inputs, that's what I felt as well, that I was able to drive your car.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you. And at the racetrack, it was such a great experience because I've been driving all kinds of simulators for a long time already. And I wasn't any scared when I got into the car. Nico was doing like, "Hey man, if you spin, put
Press
your
the
foot on the
clutch."
clutch." I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm not gonna spin." Like,
Yeah.
I knew, this is not gonna happen. Like I was
Yeah.
feeling safe enough and confident enough that I knew what I was gonna do. And right away, first lap, what I got scared is like, because with the video game, with the simulator, I thought it was too arcade sometimes. I thought, okay, this is not real. But when I drove the real car, it was exactly like
Yeah.
that. It turns a lot and it grips a lot with the race
Yeah.
tires. The braking was scary because
The
on
G-force,
the
like-
simulator, you go in the end of the straight line,
brake, the car stop,
brake
right?
everything, and you don't feel anything. The
Yeah.
car just stops. When it's with the real car, when you brake, your body goes like, whoa, you're like, oh my God. Like,
Think you're gonna be ejected
yes,
from
yes,
the.
you feel like you're gonna be ejected, and then you understand why they tied you so
Yeah.
so tight. And
Yeah.
but it was such a great experience. I was literally feeling at home. The sound was the same as the simulator. Everything
get into
about
a
the car.
mood
Yes,
that
yes,
is
yes,
incredible.
Yes, it was very nice experience. I recommend to everybody. Now, if you want to have a real driving experience, you can actually rent Kiko's car with ANSA Motorsports to go on a track day and experience what he's doing and have at least a glimpse of what it
Yeah.
is to drive a real race car. You're not gonna race that easy. You can go to a track day, enjoy the car,
Yeah.
and to race is something else. How does it work? To race, before we move to through your career, you need a driver's license, like a
A racing driver's
racing
license.
driver's
Yes.
license. How do
Yes.
you get that? Is there any age? There's no age for it, right?
So no,
Restriction.
this depends of the series. Start to put yourself. When I got mine, my first one was with the Lucas Oil School of Racing.
So there's different ones.
Yeah, different
Each-
ones.
For
Because
each class, you
each
have a different
series is basically like if you want to drive a truck here in the road, you
Okay.
need to have one kind of license, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically the same thing on racing, but in different styles. If you want to drive an open wheels car,
But let's say you got to Formula 2000.
Yeah.
If you need to drive a Indy car, is it the same license or you need to get?
no, I need another one.
Okay.
Another one.
So there's like super licenses.
Yeah,
things like that.
but normally they're gonna see like your age, basically your results,
Okay.
if you're capable of doing it. You know?
There's no test for it. Like it's not like you go at the
if,
DMV
if
and you,
it's because it's kind of the thing that no F4 drivers would ever ask to go to IndyCar right away. Do you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So it's kind of a common sense. They would definitely deny the petition.
okay.
You know, but it's
So-
like something. If you're driving an Indy Pro or an Indy Lights,
And
that
you
you're a
ask
guy
for
that
the
had
IndyCar.
wins, you're a guy that have podiums, you're gonna apply. They're gonna know you and they're
Okay.
gonna accept you.
So there's no test.
No-
actually. There's a course or something.
Depends on the series.
Okay.
Some series request you to do some school of racing, to go to like the Skip Barber School of Racing.
Okay.
That they have since the open wheels car to like a Mustang to drive GT cars. So
Okay.
it depends of the series. Each
Nice.
series have their own regulations and their own demands because some series are created for customers,
Yeah.
that don't want to be living from racing. So
don't
they
wanna
need to
make it
find
that
a way.
difficult, yeah.
They need to make something easier because the purpose of the series is you enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
But this one you were doing, that's not the purpose. That's
No.
a road
Yeah.
to Indy. So then we had 2019 champion of the Formula 2000.
2021.
21.
21.
So
19 was
18
vice.
18 your first year.
Vice champion. 2019.
19, 2020 pandemic.
Pandemic mass.
Disaster. 21
Yes.
champion
Champion.
of the Formula 2000.
Yeah.
And then from there,
22 I went to the Indy Pro 2000.
so Indy Pro 2000, what it is? It's Indy
like-
Lights or
It's one
below?
One below.
Okay. I didn't even know that. Class.
Yeah, it's like the F3.
Okay, F3, but for Formula
Yeah,
on the
for
road
the
to
Indy car
Indy.
pathway. Yeah,
And how many cars on the grid?
we had 20,
Okay,
20 that year. But like the level of the guys,
and
big.
Europeans, everybody, or mostly
Yeah,
Americans?
Germans, Pakistani,
Oh, wow.
Americans, Brazilians, British.
And how was the relation with the other drivers? Say you guys were friends, or racing environment is very tough in a way, right? When you're doing it for
Yeah.
real, like
So
when you go to track day, everybody's friends.
yeah,
But I want to know, like, okay, you're on the road to Indy, only 20 drivers. How is the relationship with the other drivers? You guys.
So it depends from each person. I think some persons they can find a way to divide the rules. That like, okay, now I'm talking to you, I'm a normal person, we can be friends. And once I go to the car, I want to kill you, basically.
Put your helmet on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we're not friends anymore. Some people I was always like this, like I know in the sport, yeah, obviously I need to have some respect to you,
Yeah.
because I know if I don't have respect, they're gonna come back to me.
Yes. The next race you can get
But
to you. Yeah.
I know that if I want to be nice for a person, I'll be nice for me.
Yes.
Got
it.
But when you get out the helmet, get out of the car, take out the helmet. If you're capable to have friends and enjoy and make fun, that's fine. And I had a lot of good friends on that pathway,
Nice.
But some drivers, they can't really
I'm saying friends in a time like, okay, let's go for a boat ride.
Yeah.
Then they invite everybody else.
yeah.
They go together.
Yeah, but some people, they are just quiet the whole time.
Okay.
And they look at you, they want to kill you.
Even after
all
the
the
race,
time.
yeah.
And like, I looked at them like, okay, man, once I put the helmet, it's going to be the
Yes.
same thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
you're not going to scare me,
I'll get you on the track, yeah.
So like, this
Nice.
depends for each person. And I understand because it's very tense world.
There's different cultures as well. Like you're saying,
Exactly,
there's Germans,
different cultures.
Pakistanis, Americans, Brazilians.
And we never
everybody's
know what is
different
going on with the other drivers. We know racing is very tough and like sometimes can be the last opportunity of their life to show their potential and like
Yeah.
it's all right that they be with like a mad face or
Yeah.
tense or just stay
Concentrated.
concentrated. We understand this.
Yeah.
We know how tough it is, and sometimes people can't like have the moment of relaxing. Some
Yeah.
people get in the race like even myself. Like yes, I make fun with people and everything, but my families already know when is a race weekend.
Nobody talks to you.
Like you talk to me, I make fun, but sometimes you're gonna look at me. I'm quiet, looking to the floor, like I'm not there.
Wow,
You know,
that's amazing.
I don't make the same kind of jokes of the race weekends. You know,
You're not that relaxed.
no,
You're
no.
like very
I'm a different
concentrated.
person.
How old are you now?
21.
21. Oh,
Yeah.
you're pretty young.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And you, what year were born?
2003.
Wow, 2003. So, you didn't get to see Senna almost by
No.
10 years.
Yes.
So how did Senna affect your career? You still have like appreciation? Do you see like who Senna was for real, or that doesn't matter
No,
to you that much?
for
Like,
sure. I think I didn't start racing because of Senna.
Okay.
This is a true fact. It was a curiosity with my father. My father used to do like the off roads trips,
Nice.
So he liked this, and then I asked him to.
What kind of Mitsubishi?
No, it was like it's called in Brazil we call quadriciclo.
Yeah.
It's like the four
Quads. Yeah. The
quads, yeah,
ATVs,
the quads, UTVs, the BRPs one, but like just to have fun,
Just for fun. Okay.
and then I remember I saw like a rental car, and I was like, Father, please, I just want to
Those
do a lap."
four-stroke,
Four-stroke normal in Brazil
regular
there.
rental cars.
Like I just want to do a lap,
Uh-huh.
I never imagined that like karting
And how old were you at that time?
was A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I never thought that like karting, I never related that karting was the first pathway to go to Formula cars. We didn't have internet to have this access of like,
Yeah.
okay, let me see, what is this? It was
Yeah.
just like, Father, let me go. And then he went there and they didn't have kids card, And with luck, the guy that used to record some videos of his off-road trips, he did some pictures and videos as well for the karting
The facility.
in-state champion.
Okay.
The professional one, but the in-state
But
champion.
in your age, like the kid.
The
or
kid
no?
as well.
Okay.
And then he explained like there they have the card for kids. There is a professional card, but it's for kids.
Okay.
Do you want to have a try? And I was like, yeah,
Nice.
for sure. And then went there basically to just have fun.
Just you wanted, but you still don't know why you wanted to drive the kart, or just it was because of your dad.
I always liked cars, not because of him. He was
Okay.
never a racing guy. He liked
Okay.
cars, but normal, And as a kid, I like the Hot Wheels cars.
You just wanted to drive something, and you
Yes.
say, "Okay, it's a little
Yeah.
car. I can drive it because it's
let
small."
me do a lap,
Okay.
Curiosity was the biggest part of this.
Yeah.
And then I love it after some laps. And then he explained me, man, this is a sport. You can come every week. You can prepare yourself, and you have the race weekends.
Okay.
Do you want to do it? I'm like, for sure.
Nice. Wow.
Because back in the day, so my father was a judo guy.
Okay.
He finished second in the national judo championship
Oh,
back in the
wow.
days. So since I was very young, I went to the judo.
You did it too? Yeah,
So
me too.
honestly, I
That's fine.
was more a fighting guy.
Nice.
That
Wow.
that came from a fighting
Uh-huh.
father, So I did judo back in the days, and then started karting as well.
Okay. And
But I
you're
think
doing both
judo
at the same time.
Yeah, but I think judo, we have the culture to do this in school in Brazil, but also I kind of continue because of my father pathway. But I never felt that was my pathway, my natural want,
Okay.
And then I started doing both, but then I got in a point that like, okay,
You started loving racing.
not just this, but like in a point that both it would need me to become a professional kid,
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm a race car driver, I'm not a fighter
Nice.
anymore. Even though I love fighting, I used to do boxing as well.
Nice.
It helps on my cardio, and then I use it as a hobby.
Reflex and everything is
exactly.
very good for
I use it as a
driving.
hobby, and like I'm still loving it. But then I decided like, okay, my pathway is racing, and then I will go for this,
Okay. So Senna was not like an influence for you
So sorry,
at the beginning.
we went to the different
Yeah.
direction. So he was not the biggest influence in the beginning, but then when you start racing, you hear about it, have the curiosity. The movie that Senna have,
Okay.
you read books and you see everything he did.
Yeah.
But now, as I grow up, man, now I can tell that yes, he had a lot of talent. Yeah, he was special. But this everybody says, you
Uh-huh.
know. But something that for me is the highlight part of Senna. He was the first guy that brought the physical preparation
Yes.
to the sport.
Yes, that's actually the question I made is it's the next question about.
He was the first guy that, okay, to be a race car driver
Got
is not
Nuno
just have
Cobra as
talent.
a personal trainer,
You
and he
know,
was the
he
professional
saw
guy.
that race is not just talent.
Yes,
He
yes.
started to get
He
extra.
needed to give it all at all times, and
Exactly.
then by the end of the race, if he was not, done,
Yeah.
he didn't give it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, this is the part of Senna that really glow ups for me, and this
Yeah.
is why I think, even with the talent that he had, he looked even more special
Yes.
because his body was ready for this, his mentality was ready for this.
Yes.
So he was a mastermind.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And how do you prepare now going to um, where Senna inspires you? How do you prepare your body? Like you do like boxing. You said you still do it.
Yeah.
You do like CrossFit. What do you do for?
So boxing I do
For
as well
racing.
to help the cardio, but it's not the main thing. I run.
Okay.
I think
How
run.
much you run? Like it's a good.
So this is an interesting question. As an open wheel driver, a lot of time because of my size as well, I suffer because of the steering wheel was too heavy.
Okay.
So a big part of my life I focus on lifting weights, or at least like getting the endurance of the muscles to work.
Uh huh.
And that was alright for me. I was running normal, but like nothing crazy. But then once you get in a point that a car is so fast that the G-force
Okay.
acts a lot on you,
Wow.
you need to have more body flow. And I felt this on my first Indy Lights race.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, my muscle is fine. Now I need more cardio. And then I started running more.
Because
know?
what you're getting like literally tired in the car
Yeah.
to a point where you would not do the
So-
turn as fast as you could because you.
Not of this.
You
I think
couldn't
we're
hold
still
on to it,
doing
or
the
it's
same
still-
point,
Okay.
but in the way that your muscle is working, but because you're breathing too deep, you start to think less. And this is
Okay.
very dangerous
Yes.
on racing.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
yes,
because you need to always
yes. So you
think
need
like
more oxygen
till
in
you
your brain.
exactly till
Yeah.
you pass 4 corners ahead, you need to planning from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to be very, very patient, and you need to have a calm in the car. That when you're tired, it's basically like start running in the outside. When you're tired, it's not thinking very much. You
Yes.
just think of surviving, basically.
Yeah.
You know. So this is the way they start to look.
Because it's
of-
all calculations. In the end of the
Yes,
day, driving
it
is
is.
calculating.
It is.
Right?
It is.
You agree to that?
yeah, 100%.
So you can't be calculating if
Because talent
there's not
everybody have.
oxygen. Yes.
So
yes,
to
yes.
make the difference, you need to have talent and the calculations.
Yes. No, you all
know?
the time calculating like how much throttle,
Yeah.
how much steering input, how much brake, everything, and
Yeah.
still getting tired and working with
Yeah.
G forces.
Yeah.
So then you need more oxygen.
And then since the last year, I started to put running as something bigger for me, and also something that is a technique that I used to do as well, that I'm still doing on the car. Is like, even though it's the first lap of the race and I'm not tired at all, I start to
breathing.
breathe very
Yes.
deep
Nice.
and forget to breathe. Forget to remember to breathe. Remember to relax my muscle. on
Every
the
straight
streetway.
line, you like breathe,
Yes.
breathe, breathe,
Yes.
breathe.
You know?
Nice, nice.
So it's like it's a kind of the thing that.
And
you need
and
to
how much
remember.
you're running now? Like kilometers or time? How do you
So
pace yourself? On
So
that?
basically, I started running like 3 times a week.
Okay.
When I'm not busy, I try to run more than this, and you have kind of different types of practice. One that I like it, that I feel that really helps me to maintain my heart rate connected
Similar
is
to the racing one?
yeah, is the sprint races. So
Wow.
like 2 minutes crazy, and then you walk, crazy, and then you walk, because it's kind of the thing that I feel when it's a straightway, what is calm, and I have
That's
like
when you're
sequence
breathing.
of
it.
so not just yes I need to hold my heart rate to not go very much, but I need to be capable of reduce this every time that I have.
Every time you get a straight line,
away, you know.
boom, you breathe,
But
just
this
breathe
is-
and rest,
yes.
breathe and rest.
Yeah, but this is something that changed from person to person. You know, this
Okay.
is the one that I feel more effective. Obviously, I do long runs. Obviously, do like just recovery running days.
Uh-huh.
You know,
How
But
is the heart rate during the race? How much is the heart rate?
so on my last Trofeo race, I went to 160
160.
because it's too hot.
For how long? For like 40 minutes,
30 minutes.
30 minutes. The
30
race, right?
minutes.
Yeah. But the
Uh,
heart rates are probably during the grid already. Like,
So when you get the grid, it go like to 120
yeah.
already,
Yes.
not doing shit.
Just sitting there at
Yeah.
120 already.
And then you go to like 160.
Yeah.
But the worst part for me is when you get out of the car
Really?
because it's too hot. So
It's when you feel it.
yes, like
Okay.
you feel it, the hot there, but I think the adrenaline putting the level,
Okay.
that yes you feel it, but it's under control.
Wow.
But once you take it out the belt, turn it off the car, you open the door. When you get out, like you see the world a little bit black, like gray, moving a little
Wow.
bit, and then start to come back to life. You know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And obviously, the people that start to get more tense during the races, they feels more the heart rate. This is why part
Yeah.
of the practice is the mental part as
Okay.
well. And this is also when it comes part to the sim racing. You
That
know?
your mental
Your
side
you're
is
prepared.
prepared.
Because the mental on sim racing, I would say, is 80%. In the normal car, I would say is 70%. Not important in the
Wow.
real car,
So
but
in the sim racing, there's more mental side.
because you have
involved?
less feeling.
Ah.
So
Wow.
part of all your decisions come more of your thinking of applying techniques.
Thinking of being in a real situation,
You know?
instead of
That-
just being there. And
Exactly.
when you're there, you're there.
So
you don't
sim
need to
racing have
think
a
about
very
it.
important role in this sport
Nice.
for me. You
Nice.
know, not just the techniques applications,
Uh-huh.
but you need to be very well connected of what you
Wow.
need to really understand what you're doing.
Which software you use?
iRacing.
iRacing, always iRacing.
Yeah, I love it. iRacing.
Nice.
Some
Yeah,
people
it's
use
really
like a Zero Course and R Factor,
Yeah.
but iRacing is still for me.
Yeah,
it's still
Zero,
the-
I like the Competizione.
Yeah, the
for
Competizione one.
For the Lambo specifically.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's very, very good for the
Yeah.
Super Trofeo and GT3. But yeah, iRacing, I think it feels more real.
It's fine
somehow.
tuning.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the. I mean, I feel that iRacing is some part of the racing I like less. Sometimes I like more, but I feel that what iRacing asks from you, which is applying the techniques,
Yeah.
and what for me is the most important part, it's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is why I use it. You know.
Yeah, the input has to be 100% perfect
Yeah.
there. Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel the tire. I like when you like, especially with the SimMagic hardware. It's crazy how I like to put the steering wheel very hard on the simulator.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than in the real car, but for the reason of it's some extra feedback.
Yes,
because
it
you
is.
don't have the G-force, you don't have nothing. But at least if it's very heavy,
Yeah.
then you start feeling the tire
Moving
kinda
around the
moving.
load.
Yes.
You
And
you can feel like when you have a little bit of understeer that you don't have
Everything,
more
yeah,
the grip on the
yeah,
front, like
yeah.
because start to get lighter. In the car, it's the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
When you have understeer,
it
you
gets lighter.
lose, because
yeah.
you lose the friction of the
Yeah.
front and gets lighter.
That's
a
why I
little bit.
have to leave it very, very hard just to have that feedback.
Yeah.
I know it's not real in that sense, like,
Yeah,
but you know, it gets you tired, it gets you like going. So you're saying the formula is really hard then?
it's so heavy,
I didn't know
crazy heavy.
that. Wow. So then you went to the Indy
Pro.
Indy Pro.
Yeah.
That's heavy as well.
Very heavy.
Okay.
But the Indy Lights is something different.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
that
because-
is like around 400 horsepower already.
450.
No? Yeah, the Indy Lights.
Yeah, but this is the crazy part. You asked me like, okay, in the Lambo, how many horsepower? 650, right? So
Yeah.
like, okay, so probably feels more in the Lambo. No,
No, Formula is very light.
because it's so light.
Yeah, and
So-
I think it's too close to the ground. No,
Yeah,
it's too far.
and but not just this. I think what makes the feeling of when it comes to power and like the things pulls you to the back.
That pull
That feeling it comes from the amount of raw horsepower to the amount of
to
weight.
the weight, yeah, weight,
You know?
power to rate.
So this relationship is what, for me at least, create this G-force sense.
So the 450 horsepower Indy Lights
Yeah.
pulls a lot more than the Lambo
Oh,
on
crazy,
the feeling.
yeah.
Wow. And lap time wise is the same? No,
It's much faster.
The Formula
Yeah, it's
is
from
much
Indy
faster.
Lights.
Oh, nice, nice.
How fast
Even
it
on
is
the
in the
straight
corners.
lines, everything. If you
So in the
accelerate
straight
together.
lines, very similar,
Okay, but then the turns,
but the
there's no way to
corners
compare.
is insane.
Yeah,
Like
nice.
sometimes I feel that my neck was going out. You know?
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, I had the chance to meet Max, and I was asking him, like, what is the difference? Like, what made you, this good? And he said, my father, he never let me use the pussy pads. And I'm like, what is the pussy pads? He said, like, yeah, when you're going to Formula, there's the pads that hold your
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
So every kid was, just resting, and his dad took away since his first
Yeah.
Formula the pussy pads. So he had to have, a lot more control of his neck and vision, and he could lock the vision. So it's something that
Yes,
he told me, yeah.
because vision is perception.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and when you doing a corner, you commit just with your eyes because it's too fast that you look at the corner
Yeah.
ahead and then you commit here
And you
to
know
do
exactly
there.
where you're looking
Exactly.
at. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't if you don't have this perception, you can't turn when the corner is right there because
Yeah,
it's too
because
fast.
if your
you're gonna
vision
go
is going all over,
Exactly.
you
And when you
like, just
lay the helmet there, you have the vibration.
all the car.
Exactly. So you lose this perception. This is
Yeah.
true. Sometimes I
Yeah.
was tired. I
And you
tried
just
to do
use
it. I
the
was
pussy
like,
pad.
no, because I completely lose all the perception that I have. You know,
Yeah.
and the feeling. It's
Wow.
insane.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
why, but you really lose.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, that's something he told me. It was a big difference for
Yeah.
him, and it was I kept it in my mind because I never drove a Formula car, and so I don't know how much is
Yeah.
that G-force. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Then how was Indy?
So the Indy Pro that year.
Indy Pro.
So this was I think was the year that I learned more. I came from a year of win, that I won the championship.
Yeah,
So my confidence was good.
yeah.
But also I came with the confidence and the weight of being a
Winning
champion.
the championship. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think for me as a kid, I had a little bit of trouble that year. I don't think it was the year that we had the best car ever.
Okay.
I definitely don't think. But I really think that I could extract more of it. Because for me, the whole point is like, if in one race you have a P3 car, it's your job to put in P3,
P3.
or make some special and put in P2.
Yeah, yeah.
If you have a P10 car, you need to put at least on P10,
P10.
or be special and put like P7, P6. I think on that year I put in the place that the car was giving me,
Okay.
but I didn't find the experience enough to
Didn't
find
the
this special part. Because even though the car it looks similar, it asks you much different. So basically, I would give an example. On the F2000 car, if you ask me like, Kiko, if you have like 1/10 to find
Uh-huh.
on any track, what's the first thing you're gonna look at? For me, in F2000 car, I would say to you, come to the power early, right? On the Indy Pro car, if you ask me now, after my second year, after finished second last year,
Later.
I would say release the brake early.
Oh, okay.
But this kind of perception is true to the detail.
Wow.
And like a lot of times on the Indy Pro, I started P7 2/10 lower, 2/10 of a second slower to the P1.
Wow. So it's very competitive.
And P7.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we unfortunately didn't have all the budget to do all the testing program. So this is something that
Exchange parts.
it was always part of my life, but I always treat like, okay,
But
this
it's
is
the
what
same challenge for everybody, right?
I know,
Like,
yeah.
I believe any race driver you talk to, like they never, oh, I didn't have the budget. But the most successful race drivers, they are not the ones that always had the budget
Yes.
of the gentleman drivers, because these guys are.
For me, it's like it's your choice.
Yeah.
Or you complain,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or you do whatever you can.
or you
with
do what you
have.
can. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is my
And
the
the
whole
reality
point.
for everybody is do what you can.
In
with what you
life
have.
is like
Yeah.
this, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna wait
And
to
complain,
be everything 100% till you start something, you
never
don't.
gonna accomplish anything.
You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think this is also part of the sport that put me in the way that I treat life now.
Yeah, there's a saying
know?
it's in Portuguese. I'm sorry, guys, but we're both Brazilians here. So, feito é melhor que perfeito.
Exactly.
Entendeu? Because it's like if you're doing it, at least it's
Yeah.
done.
Done is better than perfect. Perfectly
Yes,
done.
in a way translating, but it's the words are very similar.
Yeah.
But if it's done, it's better than perfect. Because if you're waiting for the perfect,
Yeah.
it will never come, and you never.
Because for
have
me to get the
done anything.
perfection, it needs to be done first.
Yes, yes.
But you do one,
You
two,
do,
three,
then you- yeah.
4, and
Then you perfect it. Yeah.
and for me on racing, you never had a perfection.
There's no such thing. Yeah.
No such
Yeah.
thing with perfection.
I think not only in racing, I believe in anything.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as
For me,
perfection.
perfection, I would say, is the energy
Yeah.
that keep us motivated to get there.
Yeah.
It's like when you have the
Michael
rainbow.
Jackson mentality is good in that sense. Somebody asked like, you know, how do you do things so perfect? How there's no mistakes? It's like mistakes never exist. They don't exist. You feel it and you do it, and that's the perfect movement. Like
Yeah.
there is no mistakes.
Yeah.
So in Michael Jackson's mentality, mistakes doesn't exist, so they don't happen.
Yeah.
You know, so everything he does is his best at that moment. So that's the way it should be done. Like
Yeah.
that's the right way and that's the perfect way.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a mistake.
Yeah.
Like whatever note he's singing, whatever came out of his mouth, that was the
Perfection
perfect.
for the moment.
That's the perfection for them. That's his
Yeah.
capability at that moment.
Yeah.
And there's no mistakes. You
Yeah.
know, that doesn't exist. So it's a good
Yeah.
way to see it.
That's true.
In a way.
That's true.
That's your best lap. That's your best lap. You know,
That's
there's no
it.
mistakes.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist. So you're just doing everything right.
But it's your role now. Understand how would can make even perfect.
Yeah.
If it's you with a misperception and you need to change a little bit of techniques, if it's
The car.
that's not working.
Yeah.
Because for me, don't have like a wrong car. It's just don't have the best car for the
For you.
moment.
Yeah,
And
for the moment.
for the moment.
Yeah.
For me, this is also a good thing. So when we come from karting, I always, at least for me, I always heard the thing like, you are the type of the guy that like a lot of front grip.
Uh-huh.
No, this type of guy, he only like good traction. And with experience now, I can tell like styles. We call this styles of driving.
Yeah.
For
like
me,
Alonso that
yeah.
he goes a little bit more forward and does
Yeah.
like a V-shaped
Yes.
turn or
But for me, styles is bullshit. Because
because
for
it depends
me,
on the car, no?
depends on the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to
But
adapt.
still, Alonso, if you get his
Yes.
driving style with
Yeah.
any car,
Yeah.
he will do that turn.
Yeah.
That he will kind of go more
Yes,
straight. He will actually lose a little bit
he breaks
the
deeper.
apex. Yeah.
He caught his
He
understeer,
cuts the clear. Yeah.
and then he
yeah.
stopped more in the middle, but comes to the power early.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
yeah, that-
This is a good point, but I try to don't be a driver with styles.
yeah. You just get the best of whatever you're.
What the
you're
car
driving.
needs now. It's not necessarily like just a type of car. It's not like the
Yeah.
Lamborghini did like this. The Lamborghini needs like this on this moment.
Yeah.
Because in a different moment, they can ask the same car can ask you a
Can
completely
be
different thing.
The rear.
You know?
Losing the rear. Or
So this is
something like that.
this is my goal. I try to be the guy with flat styles ever.
Nice.
It's obviously that naturally our body would prefer something than the other.
Yeah.
But for
But
me,
if the car is giving you that at that moment, then you need to
You know?
slide the front. You need to slide the front, and that's it.
I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's what the car is asking for.
you know, like do it.
It's doing faster like this. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Nice. So then you have just to go. So we go through the career. The Indy Pro. After that, what happened?
And then I did the second year of Indy Pro
So you
2023.
did 2 years with that. Okay.
We got very close to win the championship,
Oh, nice.
but we had a lot of problems. Like,
You had race wins.
yeah,
Nice.
a race win, 2 race wins, a lot of podiums.
Wow.
I don't know how many podiums.
So you stayed consistent.
Very consistent.
Nice.
But exactly, some of the races got out of control. So basically, Sebring, the second race of the season, one race the engine broke before the start. One race in Mid Ohio was fourth, and I got crashed from behind.
Oh.
And then there's little things. Obviously, I'm not a guy that believes on ifs. You know, that like ifs. Like
Yeah,
we
it's
can play with
racing.
it.
It is
you know,
racing. It's part of
but
the
like
racing,
this
yeah.
little mistakes cost us the championship for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so that was tough. But again, second, I really felt that I drove very well that year.
Nice.
Last year, I felt very confident. I felt that I nailed it most of the time. Never perfect because we're never perfect, but I really put together a lot of what I'm capable and with the knowledge that I had back in the days.
Nice.
Obviously, if you ask me now, I think I have more knowledge than before.
Of course.
But
Every day you have more
you
than
know,
yesterday.
but because it was my second year in the car and I was practicing a lot, I was very connected.
And you were living here in America at that time.
Yes, I
Nice.
moved to the US on the beginning of 2022.
Okay.
So this is something that I also felt. So why 22 was not very good? I was living by myself in America,
Okay.
different country, different responsibilities.
Yes. Learning how to deal with living by
Okay,
yourself.
I moved from a different country just for racing.
Wow.
Imagine the pressure.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
so
basically a kid still.
you
no?
know.
Like, yeah.
So
Very young.
it was
How old were you? There? 17, 18?
17.
Yeah.
17 to 18.
It's not easy.
I just
yeah.
had turned to 18.
Nice.
So like, but it was the year that I felt that the kid part was done. Now I'm a man, you know,
Yeah.
because of all the problems that I suffered that year, the self doubts, you know. But I was the only one that could change this.
Nice.
you
And
know?
you're completely by yourself?
Yeah,
Like-
me and my sister,
Okay.
but my sister's younger than me,
Wow.
so it was kind
more
of
responsibility.
you know,
on
even more. So like,
Damn.
damn.
That's true. Yes. Wow. That's crazy.
But-
That's crazy.
But last year was a good year, second place. Me and the team. So basically, all the years that I told you now was with the same race team,
Nice.
D-Force Racing.
Nice.
We had a big connection. So you asked me before, which was my sponsorships.
Uh-huh.
So Daikoval was the official sponsorship, but without D-Force, I would not be here racing
They
today.
were kind of your sponsors
Yeah.
as well as a race team.
Because obviously, I won the championship, so they trusted me.
Nice.
But because I passed a long 6 years racing with them,
And they had different classes, or
Classes.
they moved classes because of you?
so
Or they,
They-
still were doing
when I did that four,
the F4 and
when I had the F4, they only had the USF 2000.
okay.
When they asked to do USF 2000, they started doing Indy Pro.
Okay,
You
good,
know, so they kind of grow together as
Go
well.
with you. So the first Indy Pro was their first Indy Pro car was yours.
No,
or
1 year before they had with a driver
had another
already.
driver.
But basically, like I was growing, they were going one step
Nice.
ahead.
Nice.
You know,
And then after that, you did second on the championship.
second championship,
Nice,
and I did 2 races of Indy Lights.
Nice.
Because my plan was like, okay, finish second, very good
Indy
result.
Lights,
Let's
then-
go to Indy Lights
then
this year.
Indy. Okay.
And because money-wise, as
Okay. It's
every race car
expensive.
driver,
It's a
expensive.
lot more expensive
Yeah.
Indy Lights than Indy Pro.
Yes,
It's like double the.
double the price.
Wow. Crazy.
Double
And
the
how many cars on the grid of Indy Lights?
20.
Still 20 cars.
Still
It's
20
very little.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, crazy.
But
So that's how you ended up here. Ansa, how
so yes,
did this happen?
so it was a tough moment because I basically had almost everything signed to race Indy Lights, together with a different sponsor other
Okay.
than Decoval. And there's all the sponsor quit last minute.
So we're not gonna talk about you guys. You
Definitely
quit on
not.
Kiko. Yes.
It was really last minute that even when I went to the IMSA paddock, basically
Wow.
I had this conversation, they quit. 3 days after they have 24 hours of Daytona.
Wow.
So basically I'm
So
done.
you're counting on them 100%.
And I'm like, I'm done because the race is already there. They already have the
So
drivers.
you don't have time to find another sponsor. You don't have
Like,
time to bring
what-
stickers to
Exactly.
anything.
What am I gonna do?
Wow.
And I'm like, man, I have 2 options. Or stay home, thinking God gonna do all the job for me, or I get my car, drive to Daytona, start
Yeah.
shaking people's hands.
Yeah. You
And
did
the way it
plan to.
was. Went there, shake people here, there, here, there, here, there. And then talk with a guy that today is my manager, Tony from Speed Group.
Nice.
And then Tony presents to Elaine
Nice.
from ENSA. And I was like, okay, ENSA was the first. So this is very, very cool thing. You asked me how we take our license, right?
Uh-huh.
Before the F4 US, I did a school called Lucas Oil
Okay.
to take care of the license. But before this, I was like, man, let's make sure I get approved on this, you know? Let's rent some formal course so I can do just a lap, just to feel gears, clutch, you know, this kind of things. With a friend and my old driver coach Beto, we came to Ansa first
wow.
time, and they had a old Pro Mazda car, yellow,
I
which
think
is the Indy Pro car.
Is there? No, there's a blue.
I
No.
tried to find today,
Yeah,
but
there's a blue old
yeah,
Mazda car there.
but
yeah.
the yellow one is not here. It's in Concourse Club now.
Okay.
And then the first car ever.
It's very old, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I
first
think
car
they have a blue
ever
one, yeah.
after karting that I drove was an Ansa Pro Mazda.
Nice.
To see how
Nice.
the planet is very small, you know?
Wow.
And then that was 2018, 6 years after.
Wow.
I ended up here, saying to Alain, like, man, I don't have money. The only thing that I can offer you is a guy that gonna win races. They're gonna do my best, and also gonna try my best to bring new clients for you guys. If I'm part of the team, they are my family, and everybody that work with me know this. And this is what we did. Alain really trusts me.
Nice.
They put a deal for
Wow.
me that was incredible.
Yeah.
Now we are close to the end of the season with 3 wins.
Nice.
I think 5, 6 podiums. I don't know. Fighting to the championship yet.
That's amazing.
You know.
Wow.
So it's crazy how life can change, but it
And
also depends.
You never thought about racing Lamborghinis? Was like too far from like any
I
thought,
thought,
or
I
you
thought it was
about
very
this before?
far. Never thought about it. And it was crazy because when I
Uh,
signed the contract to race here, I was like, man, I don't have experience on GTs. Like, do I think that I'm gonna be the same driver in the Formula car?
Yeah.
Because in a Road to Indy paddock, everyone knew me. Everyone I was capable of.
They were respecting you as a driver
and I
in
knew
a certain way.
what I was going to do.
Yeah.
You know, I knew how much I can extract of the car. When I came here, I was like, man, I need to
Just
prove myself.
testing, yeah.
you
Just
know?
testing is dangerous enough. I had the experience to test this thing,
You
and
know?
it's a lot of responsibility. Yeah.
But thanks God, in
Driving.
our first race, we did the pole and win the race. We
Wow.
were supposed to win the 2 races of Sebring, but our second race, with like 7 minutes to go, with a big gap, we had a problem of the fuel pump.
Oh,
But thanks
Racing
God,
again.
Nico still managed to finish third. But we were supposed to win both races.
wow.
You know, with my pole position the first race. So like, but that was the kind of mentality that I also brought. I was like, I had all my confidence from the open wheels car. Even though it's a different car, I still have experience with racing. But I show up in the tracks thinking like, man, let's treat myself that I don't know anything
Just learn.
and I need to learn now.
Nice.
Just learn.
And you
Try
you win the
completely
first race.
different things. Yeah, but I went to the practice
Learning
like,
how to win.
yeah, but like I went to the practice trying completely different things. Like, let's try this techniques on braking.
Okay.
Horrible. This completely different one. Horrible. And then like, okay, let's that one that works.
And Nico was helping you a lot.
Exactly. And
He's a
Nico
professional
is
coach.
exactly.
Yeah,
Nico is
yeah.
also part of the job that I'm doing well, and I find a way to adapt because very crazy thing of life as well. Nico had this exactly same pathway that I had.
Nice. Wow.
He won the USF 2000. He finished second in the Pro Championship.
Wow.
Same results.
And he ended up in ENSA.
So he passed all the pathway the same as me. So he know the struggles. He know what is more difficult to adapt.
to adapt. Yeah.
He know the main thing that guy that's coming from Formula need to look at it. So Nico was very important
Nice.
on this,
Nice.
on my learning pathway for sure. Not even like being fast on the track on the time of
Yeah,
racing on
because
the
you
track,
also
but,
need a fast partner.
you know.
and,
But he was
good.
a very very fundamental part on this
Yeah, so-
curve learning.
Nico as his drive mate. Is that how you say? How you
Yeah,
say drive mate?
teammate.
They drive the same car, and Nico is an instructor here. He is a coach, driving coach. So you can hire his services with ANSA, driving the KTM's, driving the Lamborghinis, driving even formulas, or your own car. So
Yeah.
he's a very good
Very
coach,
good guy.
as you can see. No, Kiko.
Yeah.
Kiko is doing really well, and Nico was able to help
Yeah.
you. Nice, good,
Yeah.
good. Okay, now talking about you're driving Lamborghinis at the racetrack. Have you ever driven a Lamborghini on the streets?
Yeah, once.
Nice. Where
Yes.
was it?
It was with a friend in Orlando,
Orlando.
Hurricane there.
Nice. Yeah, we have the rental cars here. We do sponsor them. We support. I wouldn't say sponsor, but we do support their car. And every time they win or they have a podium, we give away days with the car on the streets. But we have a minimum wage of 25, so our insurance would cover. So we need to figure out how is Kiko gonna take
So the
advantage of
insurance
this
basically
support.
don't trust me to drive the car, but that's fine.
Yes,
I
yes,
understand.
yes, yes. He can ride. He can drive a race Lambo at the track, but he can't drive a street Lambo on the streets. There's not much fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you seem to me like a grown-up man. You know, you seem very responsible, and but some kids your age, it's crazy how
Yeah.
how irresponsible they are, and they still didn't learn the consequences of doing something wrong. I believe you living by yourself with 17, you learn the consequences
Yeah.
of doing some wrong
Yeah.
things out there. So you grew up mentality wise.
I think the sport is part of the thing,
Yeah.
and not just racing, but any sport kind of brings this mentality for a kid
Yeah,
much
yeah.
younger that life would teach,
Absolutely, yeah. You have to be consistent. You have to be, how do you say, responsible. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
be responsible and practice, and make sure your mentality is focused
Yeah.
and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. You have a girlfriend now?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
How long you've been?
2 years and a half.
Nice, a long time
Yeah,
for your
yeah.
age. Good. Probably gonna marry young.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a plan.
Yeah. Old soul on a young guy. Nice. And then few questions for you about the cars. Now let's talk about cars. What do you drive now?
M240i.
You like it?
I love it.
Yeah, I love that car. Nice.
P58.
Really good
Really good
chassis,
car.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very fun. You do drifting?
No, never did.
No?
Never.
No, you have to try it. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
a drift simulator here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from
Okay.
Extreme as well.
Awesome.
And you can try there, but your car is just perfect
Yeah.
to play with drifting. So yeah, you should definitely get started on
Okay,
that. Yeah,
okay.
It's nice. And you have a favorite car, like a dream car of yourself that you.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Koenigsegg
Koenigsegg? Wow.
Agera RS. The
Agera
old one.
RS.
Yes.
Can I ask you why that? Like, why is?
Okay, this is a good story.
Yeah.
A movie that was released, I would say, 6 years ago, something like this, called Need for Speed.
Yes.
In the movie, they have a race called De Leon,
Okay.
and they win the race with the Koenigsegg.
Okay.
And then I just, after this, after like a dream, started looking of the brand. Like they made even the little nuts they go on the
Yeah,
wheels.
Christian
It's-
is amazing.
that
They
guy,
do
he know what he's
everything.
doing,
Yeah. I really love
Yeah.
Koenigsegg and the way they do things.
Yeah.
But for me to think like, okay, that's my dream car, I can't, because I'm sure that's a big headache, owning a car like that.
Yeah.
Like after, owning these cars on through the company, but dealing with all types of problems you have with special cars.
But I can deal.
Yeah.
If I have the car, I can deal with this.
You can deal with waiting. Yeah, because sometimes, for example, especially Koenigsegg, they do everything, as you were saying. They do like the headlight, they do all the parts
Yeah,
in-house.
that's true.
So if you need like a start button, you might wait for 6 months for that little start button.
That's true.
So that's why I don't see myself
Okay.
having a Koenigsegg as a favorite car, but I really love it.
Yeah.
As a car, yes.
Yeah.
But to own is not a dream.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be a nightmare instead of a dream.
Oh,
It
yeah.
might become a
That's
nightmare.
fine, that's
Nice,
fine.
Nice. What is the nicest car you ever driven? You can
Street
count.
cars or race cars?
Anything.
A race car is Indy Lights.
Indy Lights?
For sure.
Nice.
Insane fast, insane, heavy vibration,
Oh, wow.
downforce. The
What
car
kind
is
of
insane.
engine does it have? It's for
It's a
450?
four cylinders
Four-cylinder
turbo. Turbo.
Oh, nice. And about mechanics, back in the days, Nelson Piquet, for example, he was a mechanic before he was a race driver.
Yeah.
How much do you know about mechanics?
So that's the thing. I feel that before the driver was much more involved in the mechanical
Yeah.
part. Obviously, you need to know what you're saying. You need to know what it's come from. But today, you don't necessarily need to know how to adjust this.
Okay,
This
you
is
don't
the-
need to
this
put
is the
yourself
thing.
under
Yes.
the cars, and like
It's-
even Schumacher during Formula One.
Yes.
They said he was there all night with the
And,
mechanics.
and it's
inside
basically
it.
something, life is like this now. So like before, the guy that would do this chair here, they would need to get the rubber,
Yeah.
go to the manufacturer, build, get the aluminum, build together and everything. Now it's like you have a guy from the aluminum, you have the guys from the the rubber. You have the guy from the seat part. You know, so it's much more divided. Each actions of the process. And racing is the same thing.
Wow.
You have the guy that race. You have the guy that take care of the tire pressures and the fuel. You have the guy that just touch on the mechanical
So
side.
you as a driver now, you don't say anymore like, okay, I need more pressure on that tire, because before it was like that. Like Schumacher would just pull up and say, hey, I need more pressure
No,
on my left
yes.
rear. You know, things like that.
So today you feel like I think I need more stiffer springs on the front. I
Okay.
still saying
You still
this,
say that, yeah.
but I'm not the guy that gonna go there open.
And
But
adjust
yes,
yourself.
you know, yeah.
But can you do that? Like that's
I
the
don't think
question.
so.
No, right?
No.
If you need to adjust the springs, for
I
example.
can some things, but not the springs.
Nice.
No.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I don't want to take a risk.
Okay, let's talk about engines now.
Okay.
Your favorite four-cylinder?
The Indy Lights car in racing, but if I would say street cars, the BMW four cylinders.
BMW
The one they use
four-cylinder.
even the Supras.
Nice. Oh yeah, this new
Yeah.
engine. Good engine. That's true. They use everywhere. Six-cylinder.
B58 BMW for sure.
Ah, nice. Good choice. Good choice. Very good engine. Eight-cylinder.
That's difficult. I would say Formula One V8. It's the only thing that comes to my mind, or in terms of
Yeah.
sound and
Sounds,
anything.
oh, that's a
Yeah,
good
the
choice.
V8
Great choice. Yeah.
part
yeah.
was insane.
Yeah. So Formula One V8 and 10-cylinder.
10 cylinders. My racing Huracan.
Yes. I would say we have one of those engines right
Yeah.
behind us. This engine is just so good. Yeah, good choice. And let's go for the big boys, 12-cylinder.
The Ferrari, the 812 competition engine that go on that car.
Sounds so good. Good
Insane.
choice. Now it's time for the perfect driver quiz.
Okay.
In your opinion, which one is the best driver on quali?
Senna.
Senna, yes. 49 poles, Formula One. Good
Insane.
guy. Good. Best rain driver.
So we can't choose twice. So because of this, I'm gonna choose Verstappen.
Verstappen?
Yes, on the rain.
Yeah, after that 360 in Interlagos.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was not even a 360, it was a drift, no?
Yeah.
They went all over and then
Yeah.
went back. Good choice. The best racecraft.
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton. Yes, great answer. That's true. The most complete driver, you can get rally drivers, you can get go-karting, Formula One. The most complete driver overall.
Scott Dixon.
Scott Dixon. Nice, good. And who would you choose for the perfect race team, like the teammate?
This I'm gonna need to repeat. Not saying it's the best, but the guy that I think would teach me more, Scott Dixon.
Scott Dixon.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. Good. Yeah, Dixon. Kiko is here, so he's looking for a teammate. He's available only for next year. This year he's taken.
Yeah.
Good. Let's finish by telling your real name. What's Kiko's name?
Francisco. My name
Francisco.
is
Francisco, what? The full name?
Yeah, Francisco Melo Domingues Porto.
Francisco Malo. Your Portuguese family, probably.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Full of names. Nice. So, guys, go ahead and follow Kiko Porto on the social media. Which social media you use the most?
So Instagram, you're gonna find me easy, Kiko Porto _12. YouTube, Kiko Porto 12. Now we have all the vlogs of the race weekend. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I watch all the time. It's
yeah.
really good. I love it.
Yeah. And soon we're gonna start some live streams with the simulator as well.
Nice. All right, guys. So go ahead and follow. Thank you very much
Thank you,
for
man.
coming.
Appreciate it.
That's a big pleasure having you here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. See you on the next one.